Hello everybody and welcome back to the 2005 Pascal paper. That's the 9th grade level contest from Waterloo. We're looking at question 23, so we're about halfway through part C, 23, and then we'll get 24 and 25 in the next videos. So question 23, starting with the 2, the number 2005 can be formed by moving either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally from square to square in the grid. And that's an interesting looking grid. 2 in the center, surrounded by 0s, surrounded by 5s. How many different paths can be followed to form 2005? Okay. How many different paths indeed? So, this always puts me in mind of a question. I think we did something similar. Yeah, with Harry the hamster, when we put him in a maze up here in question 20, we sort of marked on the tree branches the probabilities as we went through. And so I'm going to sort of do something similar, but it puts me in mind of a question that I remember. We sort of have, I don't know, the one I can remember is Elvis. So we have a grid here, and starting at the E, how many ways can we go through and make Elvis? Okay. Well, there's one way to make Elvis, and then there's one way to get to each of these L's. Then to get to this outside V, well, there's only one way. You had to go ELV. To get to this outside V, we had only one way, ELV. But to get to this middle V, we could have gone ELV or ELV. So there's two ways because we add them up. And then how many ways are to get to the I? Well, there's one way from the leftmost V and two from the middle V. So there's 3 ways to get there. And in total, we have 6 ways we can spell Elvis. And that's what this question reminds me of. So I'm going to mark things out like we did with Harry the hamster. And I'm also going to be keeping track of how many ways you can do certain things. But this one's a little tricky because of the double 0. So I can't just go from 2 to the 0 to the 5. If we were spelling 205, then this would work great. It would be the exact same thing as my Elvis question. But we've got to go to the 2s and then the 0s, and then we have to hit another 0. Okay? And then a 5. So I think I'm going to construct this, this sort of grid in stages. So there's, if we're making the 2, there's only one way we can go making the 2. We start with that middle 2. They even tell us we've got 2. Now let's make an O, and the O's are around the 2's. So we can go out in any of the directions because we're allowed diagonals. All right, we're allowed horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. So there's one way to get to each of these O's as the second, sorry, O's, I say 0, O's, I mean zeros. So there's one way to get, now we've got 20, and if we were just trying to work out how many ways to get 20, there'd be 1 plus 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 1, 8 ways to do it. But now we need another 0. So this is where it's going to get a little tricky, and we're going to have to see, well, how could we get to this 0? How could we get to this 0? All right. So now let's use a little bit of color. Suppose I wanted to get to this 0 as the next 0 in my 2005. How many ways can I get? Well, I've got to come from one of the zeros I've already got. I can't stay where I was. So the only way to get to him is from these 2. So there's 2 ways to get to this 0 now. There's 2 ways to be using this 0 as the 3rd place. Likewise, there's 2 ways to use this 0. 2 ways to use this 0. 2 ways to use this 0. And now we've got the side zeros to worry about. How many ways could we use, or how many ways could we use the side zeros? Okay. Well, where can we reach it from? We can reach it from down here. We could reach it from up here. Or we could reach it from either of the sides. And we'd get 4 ways to get that. So there'd be, we can fill this grid in. There's 4 ways to get to this 0 as the third one. 4 ways, 4 ways, 4 ways. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. And now we need to go and get ourselves a 5. So the 5s are all out here. So we can even copy our grid from the third character, or the second 0. So how many ways are there to use this 5 up here? Well, the only way to get to him is with this 2. So there's 2 ways to use him. 2 ways to use this one, 2 ways to use this one, 2 ways to use this one. How about using this 5 as our last digit? Well, we could get to him from this 2 or from this 4. So there's 6 ways. And by symmetry, we can fill out 6s here and here and here. 6s a lot of places. Okay. Now, the sides, the side 5. How many ways can we get to that 5? Well, we could 2 ways to come from this 0, 4 ways to come from this 0, and 2 ways to come from this 0. 2 plus 4 plus 2, 8s along the side. Okay. So now how many ways can we get 2005? Well, we make a 2005 by hitting one of these 5s at the end. So we've got 2 plus 6 plus 8. I'm just going around clockwise from the top. 6 plus 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6. Okay? So we're just sort of moving around. Now this is adding up all the different ways we can end at the various 5s. But you'll notice it's the same set of numbers repeated 4 times. So it's 4 times 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. So it's 4 times 22, which is 88 ways. And 88, I believe that was one of the answers, E. So that's what we're going with. Okay. So it wasn't all that bad, provided that we were careful and the zeros were the hard part. So we had to sort of do a little bit of bookkeeping with the zeros. One way to get each of the first 0, but then multiple ways to get that second 0, the third character that we need. Okay. I actually think that's kind of an interesting question. I like that. I don't know about you guys. But that's question 23. There we have it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you sorry, choking on my own spit. I'll see you for question number 24 in the next video. So long for now.